Good afternoon, and welcome to the first ever Waco ISD Social Studies Scholars Biathlon. We are thrilled to be here at the campus of Waco High School, where students from all over the district have come to compete in social studies questions that will help them to participate and do a great job on the upcoming STAR exams. We call it a biathlon because we've really achieved this day in two parts. The first part is a written test. We had students come together on a Saturday morning and take a written test from previously used STAR questions. Then we compiled those scores and we've developed tournament brackets, and we have already gone through 4 of the preliminary rounds. So right now we are down to the semifinals. So these 2 teams will compete, another 2 teams will compete, and then this afternoon we will crown a grand champion for Social Studies Scholars Biathlon. Let me introduce you to our host. Our host is Mr. Luke Whiting. He has done a tremendous job today. Also, we want to thank one of our sponsors, as we will throughout the day. We want to thank Waco ISD TV for being here, and we want to thank Papa Rolo's Pizza for donating 15 large pies for our students and staff to eat this morning. So let's give them a big round of applause. We've got a wonderful turnout. We've got tensions are high. It's kind of warm in here. It's a Saturday afternoon, but boy, social studies is great. So let's give our host, Mr. Luke Whiting, a round of applause.
No, thank you. It's not necessary. Hello. I'm Luke Whiting, as I said. We're about to start. Just so you know, and you know the audience, each question is worth 1 point, and our bonus questions are worth 3. Let me introduce our teams. We have Team Star Destroyer, and we have Team Rat Pack. You guys ready for this? Yeah? Yeah, it sounds like it. Let's see, I want to hear it louder. Are you guys ready for this? Sure, okay, I think they went before that. All right, let's jump right in, guys, shall we? First question. Why, before I start that question, let's see what school you're from, because I didn't say that. Star Destroyer, what school are y'all from?
We're from Lake Air Montessori.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Lake Air Montessori.
Lake Air Montessori, excellent. Rat Pack, what school are you guys from? Whoa, even before I said it. Okay. Representing, you guys think you're going to win? Hoping? Yeah? Okay, strong. You guys think you're going to win? Yeah. Okay, I hear some strongness. I hear some strength there. I hear some strength. All right, it's going to be a good game, guys. I know it, I can tell. All right, for those in the audience, try to answer along. I think you might find these questions are a little challenging, but if you remember your social studies from middle school, you'll be just fine. And as always, we'll have our judge to help us with any answers that we aren't sure about. And we are ready to go. All right, first question. Why were African slaves transported to the Americas? 8.
They were transported to America because they were to be bought from plantation owners and used in the plantations to harvest crops, and cash crops, so then the plantation owners could sell them.
All right, point. Next question. How did the establishment of Jamestown lead to successful colonization for the English? 10.
At first, it showed that you can establish a colony in English or in the New World, and then it also helped the economy, so because they had more land and stuff to grow crops. Tobacco.
She said tobacco.
Tobacco. That was the key point. All right. Next question. Why was the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut important to the growth of representative government? 8.
It was the first North American Constitution.
Point. Okay. Moving right along. You guys, you got this? Next question. During the First Great Awakening, how did changes in religious expression affect people's political?
It affected because we saw as England was taking our freedom, and it, helped us realize how to start the American Revolution.
All right. Point Star Destroyers. Next question. How was the Proclamation of 1763 a cause of the American Revolution?
8.
Because we had the French and Indian War before that, and so we fought a bunch of the colonist brothers and sisters went to go fight that war, and then after the war, Great Britain said, well, you may have fought that war, but you cannot settle on that land because we will not protect you from the Indians.
Land where?
Yep, past the Appalachian Mountains.
All right, point. Next question, here we go. How did propaganda of the Boston Massacre contribute to colonial unity? 8.
Because it showed in the Boston Massacre, they pictured it as British soldiers firing upon a group of citizens, and it angered the colonies, and it kind of united them. They're like, whoa, we're not going to stand up to this. We got to stand up and fight back.
Okay, point Rat Pack. Next question, are you ready? Here we go. Why were the battles of Lexington and Concord called the shot heard round the world? 6.
It was the first battle when it started the American Revolution.
Say it louder.
It was the first battle when it started the American Revolution.
Good, all right. Okay, we have a bonus question. This is worth 3 points. Before we go, let's get some scores.
We have 1 point for Star Destroyers. We have 6 points for the Rat Pack.
We said 1 point. Star Destroyers, 6 points. Rat Pack. You guys have a chance to catch up closer. You ready? For 3 points. How do the ideals expressed in the Declaration of Independence affect Americans today?
8.
Because it said that we have the right for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration also listed the grievances and why we were. It's like pretty much a breakup letter, and it listed the grievances of what the king did and why we wanted to separate from Great Britain and why we should be free.
Okay, 3 points. Star Rat Pack. Here we go. It's not over yet, guys. Don't worry. Why was the Battle of Yorktown significant?
3.
It was the final battle, and it was our final battle of the American Revolution. It took 3 times.
All right, point Star Destroyers. Here we go. Next question. What were the basic principles established in Northwest Ordinance of 1787?
8.
It established a way for states to join the Union.
Okay. All right, next question. How did the New Jersey Plan address the issue of representation in Congress?
3.
Oh, it's the plan is that every state had an equal number amount of people instead of Virginia's plan where it was based off of population.
Okay, point Star Destroyer. Next question, here we go. What was the purpose of the Federalist Papers?
8.
Federalist Papers were pretty much like an advertising. The Federalists were for a strong central government, while the Anti-Federalists were against it. And the Federalist Paper just listed why they should have a strong central government instead of having the states to have all the power, or most power.
In support of what?
And a strong central government. That's what they were supporting.
Okay. Do you want to add anything, Judge, to that?
Important to note that it was in support of the federal Constitution. And we'll count that a strong central government, but it's important to note the Constitution.
Okay. Next question. What freedoms are protected in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights?
3.
3.
Speech, press, assembly, religion, and petition are...
All right. Point Star Destroyer. Here we go. Next question. How did the Whiskey Rebellion prove the strength of the federal government under the Constitution? 8.
Okay, so it was the Whiskey Rebellion was a rebellion against the taxes placed on whiskey, and so George Washington gathered a bunch of troops and he stopped the Whiskey Rebellion, which showed the power of the government.
Okay. Point right back. Next question. Here we go. How did the Supreme Court's decision in Marbury versus Madison illustrate the idea of checks and balances?
Judicial review. It was established by that. In Marbury versus Madison, judicial review.
All right. Point. Next question. How did the War of 1812 affect the economy of the U.S.?
3.
It affected it because we were kind of cut off from England, and we did most of our stuff in the United States from there on, and it increased our nationalism.
What was most of our stuff?
Industry.
History. All right. All right. Here we go. Next question. What was the Supreme Court's decision in Gibbons versus Ogden, and why is it significant? 3.
It was federal power. Federal is supreme law of the land, and federal always went against states.
Judge?
What did it have to deal with?
It had to deal with the state. Didn't the state try to say that it could do something, and then the federal power came in and said, this is it, and then they took that to the Supreme Court, and it was federal power, supreme law of the land.
All right. Well done. Can we get a score check?
It is Star Destroyer 7 and Rat Pack 11.
7 Star Destroyer, Rat Pack 11. Here we go. How did innovations in technology affect communication and the transportation of goods? 8.
Okay, it affected it because it made shipping things faster and communication between states and people easier, which is why they made Morse code so they could communicate with other states. And they made railroads, canals, steamboats, so then they could transport goods faster.
All right, point right back. Here we go. What was the Indian Removal Act, and why was it passed by Congress? 3.
The Indian Removal Act was removing the Indians from the land that we wanted because it had stuff that we wanted, and it moved them, and it caused a trail of tears in which 1 out of every 4 Indians died on that trail.
Point. Star Destroyer. Here we go. Why would President Andrew Jackson's response to the court's decision in Worcester versus Georgia be considered an example of a breakdown of the principle of checks and...
As executive power, he said he had more power when he ignored John Marshall's ruling.
Point. All right, we're coming up on our last question, and it happens to be a bonus. What's the score?
It is 9 to 12.
Chance to tie. Okay. That's okay. Here we go. How did technology affect westward expansion? 8.
Technology affected it by so they built the coastal railroad so they could help settle like the westward expansion, and it also like helped like steamboats. They were invented to like go up and down rivers, so that also helped them go through rivers, and it made it easier to settle places.
You tell me more.
Well, they could also get there faster, and
They could get there easier, faster.
they could get there easier and faster, and
Cheaper.
and
Made the land
cheaper.
cheaper.
It made the land cheaper.
See, there you go, land, inexpensive land.
All right. All right. Judges, are we good? Thank you so much. This was the first round of the semifinals. Hope you join us again. We're about to start the second round in a moment. Once again, this is the Social Studies Biathlon of 2017 for Waco ISD.
Just wanted to say a couple of words about our theme today. The other day was May the 4th, and so the theme today is Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. And throughout the library here at Waco High School, we have wonderful Star Wars related themes. Boys and girls, do you like the Star Wars theme? Yeah, give it a big round of applause. And before we get started with the semifinals, I would like to thank some of our sponsors. First of all, I would like to tell you how grateful we are to have Waco ISD TV in the house. Give them a round of applause. It's such a thrill for our students to be taped and broadcast over Waco ISD. I already said we want to mention Papa Rolo's Pizza for donating the pizzas for lunch. Big round of applause. Everyone here today, every student gets free chicken from Bush's Chicken. Bankston Comic Book Store has donated some things today, prizes, and they have lent us this wonderful 6-foot cutout of Darth Vader. Thank you very much, Bankston's. Jersey Mike Subs has provided us buy one, get one free subs from their wonderful store. I've eaten there. It's good. Get the steak and cheese. Yeah, give a big round of applause. If you have never been to Land Sharks, wonderful gaming center down Franklin Avenue, they have donated a set of 4 free passes for 3 hours for one of our winning teams. So let's give them a big round of applause. Mix 104 has donated for the winning team a set of 4 passes to Six Flags. And so let's give them a big round of applause, our championship team. Shipley's Donuts has donated donuts for our staff this morning. We're very proud of them. Give them a big round of applause. All right then, let's continue with the semifinal round. Mr. Whiting, you're up.
All right. Welcome, guys, to round 2 of the semifinals. I have 2 teams with me here. Would you guys introduce yourself? What's your team name?
The Rebel Dream Team.
Rebel Dream Team. From which school?
Carver Middle School.
That's right. And who do we have over here?
Kills, drones, and clones.
Yeah.
Clones and drones.
Clones and drones.
And what school?
Indian Spring Middle School.
Indian Springs. Give them a round of applause, guys. All right, guys, we are ready to go. Are y'all ready? Yes. Yes. I hear a resounding yes. Okay, maybe it's just in my head. All right, here we go. First question. Almost. Before we start,
Let me look at your card real quick.
let me remind you how it'll work. It'll be 1 point per question, and the bonus is worth 3. Are we ready?
Hold on 1 moment, please.
All right. Clones and drones. Rebel Dream Team. Let's begin. First question. How did the transatlantic slave trade promote economic growth in the colonies?
9. In the colonies? In the colonies, right?
Yes, in colonies.
In England.
They're promoted.
It kept promoting economic growth because they kept buying the cash crops and stuff.
Judge?
President Keys. President Keys.
Not enough?
Not enough. Okay, moving on. Option to take it. 6. Oh, wait, not 6. 1, 2, 3, or 4?
6. It's 6, 8, 9, 10.
Well, but he can't go again because your team's already going.
And time.
All right, time. Anything you want to say about that, Judge?
We wanted to hear the growth of slavery, the influence on southern colonies, and plantation system.
And a reminder to you, if someone buzzes in while I'm reading, I will stop the question and I won't finish it until after they've answered. All right. Why was the Virginia House of Burgesses significant?
4.
4.
It was the first form of representative government in the colonies.
All right, first form of representative government in the colonies. Nice. Next question. Make sure you speak really loud, guys. How did the system of mercantilism work for nations?
6.
6.
The way that it worked for the United States was we raised the goods, or the raw goods, and then we sent it off to England, and we sold it to them very cheap, and they sold it back to us for very expensive, so in turn they became rich and we became poor.
Good. All right. Judge accepts. Point. Well done. Next question. How did the Treaty of Paris of 1763 change the borders of North?
Changed the borders of North America. Because
The coast.
Time?
Time. Okay. Option?
4.
4.
It changed the borders of North America, well, of the colonies, because it spread out like the land that we owned, and it drew a proclamation line of where the settlers could not go past.
Judge? Point. Rebel Dream Team. Next question. How did the colonists react to the Intolerable Acts?
6.
6.
they didn't react kindly to the Intolerable Acts, and in return, They got a whole bunch of tea and dumped it in the Boston Tea Harbor, or the harbor.
Judd? No. Option? No?
Time?
Time. Okay. Move on to the next question. Why was the Battle of Saratoga considered the turning point of the
Because it got other countries such as France to notice us and support us in our strive to become a new nation and win the war against Britain.
Who won Saratoga?
We did.
All right. Point for Clones and Drones. Next question. How did Shays' Rebellion highlight the weakness of the Articles of Confederation and the need for a stronger national?
Because a lot of farmers were rioting because, I forgot why, but they were rioting, and there was when we had the Articles of Confederation and we had no federal, like,
Support.
police, or as you could say, to stop them. So in turn, a lot of volunteers and just volunteers and militia had to stop them.
All right. Point. Next question. How did the Virginia Plan address the issue of representation in Congress?
4.
They believed that it should be based on the population of each state because they knew that they would have a greater representation because they had a lot of.
Judge. All right. Correct.
Please
Well done.
speak up as you answer
Yeah.
the question. Speak this way into the...
To the microphone. Here we go. Next question. How did the New Jersey Plan address the issue of representation in Congress?
9.
Because it declared that every state, no matter how size, got 1 vote.
All right. Next question. What was the purpose of the Federalist Papers?
1.
1.
It was to support the Constitution.
All right. Correct. Okay. Next question. What 2 warnings did President George Washington issue in his farewell address? 6.
He issued neutrality and that we do not get involved in foreign affairs or have alliances with them, and political parties to stay away from them.
Excellent. Well done. Yeah. They are allowed to help each other in case you're wondering back home. Next question. How did the War of 1812 affect the economy of the U.S.?
6. Before that, we were really just farmers and growing stuff, and after that, we decided to industrialize.
Okay, point. Yeah. Yeah, if you press before, it won't work. Okay. Ready? In the Supreme Court case of McCulloch versus Maryland, what questions did the Supreme Court answer?
4.
4.
It answered the question on whether the national bank was constitutional or not, and it also answered the question on if the government had the power to shut down something that was already started, like a company.
Good. All right. Point. All right. We have a bonus question, 3 points. Let's get some scores.
Rebel Dream Team, we have 5 points.
5 points.
Drones and Clones, we have 6.
So 5. Rebel Dream Team, Clones and Drones, 6. Very close game. This can help bring someone in the lead. Here we go. What inventions helped contribute to the Industrial Revolution and
The cotton gin, which helped produce cotton faster. The steamboat, which helped move things faster. Cheaper and easier. Interchangeable parts, which could be used in
war.
In
With rifles and stuff.
With, yeah, like rifles, you could use different parts and such. And railroads were used.
All right. 3 points. Well done. Next question. Here we go. What was the Supreme Court's decision in Worcester versus Georgia?
9.
9.
That it was their land and they couldn't take it over, right? Well, it was the Cherokee land, and that Georgia couldn't take it because they were there first.
All right. Point, Clones and Drones. Next question. Here we go. Why was it difficult for the United States to annex Texas?
1.
1.
Because they were worried that it would unbalance the power between slave and free states.
Well done. Point. Here we go. Next question. Why was the Gadsden Purchase significant?
6.
It helped us build a transcontinental railroad, which would help get stuff from the west to the north and the east.
From the west, from the east.
Oh, well,
to the west.
across the country.
Okay. Good clarification. Next question. How did the women at Seneca Falls look to the Declaration of Independence for inspiration?
9.
9.
Because they gave it a list of grievances. It said that all men and women are created equal.
All right. Point. Next question. What was the purpose of the temperance movement?
6.
To abolish the consumption of alcohol.
Point. All right. Next question. What is civil disobedience?
6.
Going against the government without armed, just disobeying.
Constitution.
All right. Point. You want to add anything to that, Judge?
It's the feeling that you can disobey laws with which you disagree, but going against the government is a good answer.
Peacefully, I think, is the key there, too. Okay. What were 3 important features of the Compromise of 1850?
1.
The Fugitive Slave Act, California being admitted as a state, and popular sovereignty.
All right. Well done. Rebel Dream Team.
Score check.
We are sitting with Dream Team at 7, and we are sitting at Drones and Clones with 13.
So, Dream Team 7, Drones and Clones 13. Okay. Here we go. Who was John Brown, and why did he attack the federal arsenal?
He was a person who did not believe in slavery, and he attacked the federal arsenal because
He went to arm the slaves.
with his sons to try and have a slave uprising.
Okay. We have another bonus. Another 3 points up for grabs. Are you ready? What were some of the causes of the Civil War?
6.
Slavery, Abraham Lincoln being elected president, and
Any more? You have one
Slavery got free already.
slavery. Abraham
Time.
Lincoln.
Time. Okay. 4.
Sectionalism, states' rights, popular sovereignty.
Speak up.
Sectionalism, the popular sovereignty, states' rights, and slavery.
All right. Well done. 3 points. Here we go. Why was the Emancipation Proclamation significant?
6.
6.
It freed all slaves in the North and the South.
Freed all slaves in the North and the South.
That is not correct.
Okay. Option?
3.
3.
It was important because it was significant because it gave freedom to the South, the seceded states, and the slaves inside the South, and it also changed the point of view of keeping the Union together to freeing the slaves.
All right. Point. Okay. Can we have a score check?
I'm sitting with Rebel Dream Team with 9 and Drones and Clones with 14.
14. Okay. This is the last question. All right.
We have 11.
That was 3. That was a bonus, that last one.
Oh, okay.
So that would be 11.
All right, 11.
Okay. Rebel Dream Team is 11. All right, here we go. Last question. What was one important accomplishment of Reconstruction?
9.
It brought the Union and the Confederacy back together to form the United States again.
Anything? No?
Wrong answer.
Okay. 4.
The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments.
Okay. Point for Rebel Dream Team. And what is our final score? Rebel Dream Team? Rebel Dream Team.
Drones and Clones.
All right, Jones and Clones. What was the final score?
It
12? 12 to 14. All right, good job, teams. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the finals in about 15 to 20 minutes. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Social Studies Biathlon 2017, brought to you by the Waco ISD. Now let me recap what's been going on. This morning we started with a written social studies test. All the teams took the test. The top 6 teams, 8 teams that were the best scores, then went on to the first 4 rounds where they went on head-to-head against each other. The top 4 teams there then did the semifinal round. Now we are down to our championship. The top 2 teams. We have Clones and Drones and the Rat Pack. Now, if I understand, are y'all from the same school?
Yes.
So, one school is going to win either way. We're excited about this competition. Are you guys ready? Yes? All right, 35 questions, only 2 bonuses. You ready? And we're going. How did the establishment of Jamestown lead to successful colonization for the English? 8.
It helped them like establish, so we can put a settlement here and it will be successful. And it also provided an economic, they provided like economically because they got tobacco, which was a cash crop, which helped them like pay for more.
Judge? All right, score, Rat Pack. Next question. Why was the Fundamental Orders of Connecticut important to the growth of representative government? 4.
It was like, I wouldn't say the birthplace, but it was like a role model for the other representative or colonies, and like it gave a role model for like
Time?
Option?
Is it
8.
Is it the first constitution written in the Northern Hemisphere?
First Constitution, well done. Next question. How did the outcome of the French and Indian War affect British economic policies in colonial America? 8.
It affected them because British, after the war, they had a huge debt, and so they decided to tax the colonies with things like the Stamp Act, the Sugar Act, and the Tea Act, which helped pay for that war debt.
All right, point. Next question, get ready. How was the Boston Tea Party an act of civil disobedience? 1.
Because the colonists got
the weapons.
it was peaceful. Well, it was somewhat peaceful because they didn't use any force, but they got crates of tea and went to the Boston Harbor and dropped it in the ocean.
All right, score, Clones and Drones. Next question. How was Thomas Paine influential in helping support the American Revolution? 1.
Thomas Paine wrote a pamphlet
called Common Sense.
which helped give the idea to fight back.
All right, good job, Clones and Drones. All right, we have a bonus. What's the score?
We have Clones and Drones 2, Rat Pack 3.
2 to 3, very close. Chance for 3 points on the line. Here we go. How do the ideals expressed in the Declaration of Independence affect Americans today? 8.
It affected them because they stated that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the Declaration also included the grievances of why we wanted to separate from the king.
Judge?
Tell me more.
All right, can you give us some more? Today, how does it affect us today?
Oh, it also it told Britain that we were. It showed that we were now a separate country from Britain, so now we're free from them.
We can lead ourselves.
And we can lead ourselves.
Lead ourselves, okay, well done. 3 points. Next question, game faces on, here we go. What did the Americans gain in the Treaty of Paris of 1783? 1.
Britain recognized the Americas as their own independent country.
That's pretty big. All right, next question. What was the original purpose of the Philadelphia Convention, and how did it change? 10.
Okay, so the Philadelphia Convention, the original purpose was to fix weaknesses they found in the Articles of Confederation, but then they ended up scrapping that and then started to create the Constitution.
Point, well done.
This is the one question.
All right. Next question. Who were the Anti-Federalists, and what was the purpose of the Anti-Federalists?
The Anti-Federalists were people who believe in a strong state government, and one of their leaders was Thomas Jefferson. And he believed that the Constitution should be drafted with the Bill of Rights in it.
Okay. Next question. How did the Whiskey Rebellion prove the strength of the federal government under the Constitution? 1.
Because the farmers were rioting, and George Washington took the federal army and just squashed the whole riot.
Tell me more.
It exercised the power because of the federal government, because he just took a whole bunch of soldiers and just said, stop.
All right, well done. Next question. Why did the U.S. declare war on Great Britain in 1812? 8.
Because they were taking American sailors from their ships and forcing them to work in the Navy.
Okay, point. Next question. Why did President James Monroe issue the Monroe Doctrine?
1.
So foreigners would stop trying to colonize the Western Hemisphere.
Point. Okay. Next
Score.
question. Oh, what is the score?
We have Clones and Drones with 6.
Clones and Drones,
Rat
6.
Pack with 8.
8. So we have Clones and Drones 6, Rat Pack 8. Very close game. All right, let's keep going. What was one result of the transportation revolution?
6.
Things could get there. Things could get places. Things could get to places faster and easier, and it took less time, and they didn't use that much energy. Like people, back then they had to like carry it from one state to another, or one city to another, and it just made things really easier.
Cheap, faster, cheaper.
And it was faster, cheaper.
Faster, cheaper.
what I was
Nice.
looking for.
That's
That's right.
revolution. Okay. Next question. Why was the removal of the Native Americans in 1830 called the Trail of Tears?
10.
Because it was called the Trail of Tears because they had to remove all the Native Americans or the Indians. They had to remove them out because they wanted their land, and it was sad to them because a lot of their people died
On the way
on the way there.
On the way there. There you go. Key right there. The Trail of Tears. All right, next question. Who coined the term manifest destiny, and what does it mean?
8.
8.
John Sullivan
John Sullivan.
quoted it, and it means that they should they should occupy the northern hemisphere from one sea to the next shining sea.
I'll accept that. John O'Sullivan. But that's
John O'Sullivan, judge? All right, point. John O'Sullivan. Whew. Whew. Next question. Why did President James Polk support negotiating a treaty for the occupation
1.
of...
Because he wanted to fulfill manifest destiny in negotiating a treaty with the British for Oregon.
Judge? All right. Point's good. Here we go. Why did people rush or move to California in the late 1840s? 10.
Gold Rush.
Gold rush. There's gold in them there hills. You were ready. All right, next question. Why is Horace Mann known as the father of public education?
2.
2.
He like helped the people who wanted education. Like
He was the lead, and like
He said everybody
Who's the
should
head?
have access to
everyone should have education like it's equal. Like
how did he intend to pay for public education?
taxes. Taxes.
Taxes. All right. Next question. Why would women and business owners be motivated to be part of the temperance movement?
8.
8.
Because temperance is the consumption of alcohol, and like if someone drank a lot of alcohol, they would get drunk, and then they would cause damage to things, and so that could ruin like if they went to a warehouse that a company owned, they could ruin their like all the goods and stuff.
Okay, judge. All right, points good.
Score check.
Score check.
We're sitting with 8 for Clones and Drones and 13 for Rat Pack.
8 to 13. But we happen to be at a bonus question. All right, chance for 3 points on the line. You can catch up. Here we go. Describe the beliefs of transcendentalists? 10. All right.
Okay. So transcendentalism, it had to do with people getting out of society to have inner peace with themselves. And It was like,
Judge?
Keep going.
Tell us more.
All right, expound.
Your teammate.
They moved
away from society and they stayed
away from there.
they stayed away and they
Find
found
their
their own
peace.
inner peace.
Whatnot.
Okay.
Looking for more.
You got any more for us?
They lived in the forest.
Can you give me an example of someone?
Oh, Henry B. Thor. I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
Henry B. Thor. He was very Thor. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Thoreau and Emerson is who I would take as well.
Okay. 3 points. You did say Thor. All right. Next question. Why was Harriet Beecher Stowe's book Uncle Tom's Cabin significant?
1.
Because it showed the horrors and just horrific things that were actually involved with slavery. Slaving.
Yes, Judge? All right. Point for Clones and Drones. The suspense gets me every time. All right. You guys ready? Why was the election of 1860 significant?
6.
6.
It was the election of President Abraham Lincoln, and the Southerners were upset about it because he wanted to end slavery.
Okay. Next question. Why was the Battle of Antietam significant?
8.
8.
Because it was the bloodiest battle of the Civil War.
Bloodiest Battle Civil War? Point.
No, you're not.
Here we go. What was President Abraham Lincoln's message in his second inaugural address?
6.
6.
He wanted to unite the United States after the South and the States had seceded.
Unite the United States.
Yeah, he wanted the Northerners to treat the Southerners the same and like welcome them back with open arms into the nation.
Unity.
Union.
All right. Point.
With malice toward none and charity for all, is what he said.
Words you live by. Ready. What was the Homestead Act?
8.
8.
It was that person of age that joined the army during the Civil War, they would get a certain amount of land.
Where?
In the West.
The West. Okay.
Score check.
Okay. Quick pause. Score check.
No.
Hold on. No.
We're sitting with 9 for Clones and Drones, and we are sitting with 1.
9 for Clones and Jones. 20. The Rat Pack.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready? Almost ready.
I won't hear y'all get
All right.
Not this question, it'll be the next question.
All right. You guys ready?
Second. Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
Okay. Why was it difficult for the United States to annex Texas?
1.
1. Go.
Because Mexico thought that was part of their land.
They had a
and-
dispute over the border.
And it was they disputed over the border between where
Texas and
it
Mexico
was
ended.
where Texas and Mexico ended.
That is not what we're looking for.
Option? 8.
The reason why was because it was part of Texas was part of Mexico, and Mexico didn't want to let Texas go, and so they were fighting over where the border would be. Either it would be the Rio Grande River or and slavery.
Wait,
That
what?
is not. Okay. Wrong answer.
The correct
Um,
answer, please.
Correct answer is that the United States was reluctant to annex Texas as a state because they did not want to let in another slave state. And so Texas had a huge debt, and they did not want to annex a state into the South that would add to the slave debt.
Okay. Don't forget that. All right, next question. What was the purpose of the Seneca Falls Convention?
4.
4.
It was to bring awareness to the inequality of women's rights.
Awareness, inequality. All right, point. Next question. Why did reformers believe it was important to reform public education? 8.
Because not a lot of people were getting very good education, and they wanted like all people to have the same fair education, and the schools did not have like enough money from the government to like buy the things they needed to teach people.
All right, point. Thank you, Judge. Next question. Name 3 artists or authors and describe how they contributed to the culture.
Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense, which helped
And then
to promote the revolution.
Uncle Tom.
And
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin, which was written by Harriet
Beecher Stowe, wasn't it?
Beecher Stowe.
Harriet Beecher Stowe, yeah.
Yeah.
Harriet Beecher Stowe. I forgot.
I'll
about it.
accept one of those 3 answers. Next team.
Mhm. Option. One buzz in. 4. Or was it 4 or 1? Oh, 6. Sorry, I was messed up wrong. 6. You. We're first.
And Thomas Jefferson.
All right. Need an answer.
It was Thomas Paine, Common Sense.
Speak up, please.
There was Thomas Paine with Common Sense, and then there was
Time. We're looking for on that question artists like Audubon, artists like the Hudson River School, authors like somebody mentioned Harriet Beecher Stowe is good, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, that kind of thing that kind of contributed to that that American sense, that love for nature, that sort of thing.
Okay. Very touching. All right. Next question. Who was Dorothy Dix and what did she hope to accomplish? 10.
She was a person who wanted to fight for the rights of the people that have mental issues, because she didn't want them to be like in prison. They want huh?
It's not treated bad like prison.
She didn't want them to be treated badly like they were in prison.
Okay.
Score check.
No.
Go ahead.
Don't you say it.
No.
Don't say it.
Clones and drones.
No, you don't. Grab will kill you.
Rat Pack.
Rat Pack has 22.
22. And 11.
Okay, clones and drones, you're sitting with 10.
10. Okay.
It's all right.
6 questions to go. Okay. Let's get this done. Let's do this. Finish strong, guys. Name 2 events in U.S. history that are considered to be acts of civil disobedience. 4.
Nullification crisis in Boston Tea Party. Nope.
Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party.
Substantive part of that question is incorrect.
Okay.
One of the answers is
Option 8.
The Boston Tea Party and the Whiskey Rebellion.
no point.
No.
We are looking for the Boston Tea Party and Henry David Thoreau's refusal to pay taxes as an abolitionist.
Civil disobedience. Actual.
Okay. It's okay.
No worries. Okay. Listen up. How did the North and South react to Uncle Tom's Cabin? 8.
The North was bewildered because they were told lies by the South. They said because the South said, "Oh, it's good. We treat them okay and everything," and the South kind of got like paranoid because they thought maybe the North was gonna like go out to get them for telling them the North lies.
Judge?
I'm reading that it was interpreted badly by the South and favorably by the abolitionists in the North. That's
Okay, point given. Next question. Who was John Brown and why did he attack the federal... 4.
John Brown, he was an abolitionist, and he said that slavery was against his religion, and he went to go get the whole arsenal.
Slave uprising.
Yeah, for slavery uprising.
Slave uprising. All right. 3 questions to go. All right, here we go. What were some of the causes of the Civil War?
4.
4.
Some causes of the Civil
Slavery,
War were that
election.
some slaves were seen as civilized, like they were given civil rights somewhat, and
Slavery, able action.
the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments.
The states were seceding.
I don't know where he's
All right. Yeah.
Other team?
Causes of the Civil War. 9.
States' rights, tariffs.
President Lincoln going into office.
What was that?
President Lincoln going into office.
President Lincoln going into office.
Slavery.
All right, slavery? Did I already say?
And Uncle Tom's Cabin also helped him.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
I'll take each of those.
Nice, Amy. Good job, Amy.
All right. Okay. No worries. No worries. Okay. Here we go. Why was the Battle of Gettysburg significant?
What was the turn?
6.
It was a turning point in the Civil War.
Turning point, Civil War. Last question. Here we go. Oh, that was Rat Pack. Sorry. Here we go. Last question. Why was the Emancipation Proclamation significant? 8.
Because it announced that all slaves in the Confederate States were free, and that helped the Northerners gain more troops because the slaves went to go fight in the Union Army.
All right. Point Rat Pack. All right. So final score.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Just say they won. Just say they won.
Just say it.
It's you're going to be good sports.
Say they won.
11 points. Clones and drones.
Rat Pack, 26.
Whoa.
You ain't gotta say that, man. Come on up, guys.
We are so thrilled. You guys excited? Go ahead. Hold it. Give it a round of applause. We are so thrilled.
I don't care. We go to
Come on.
the
That's it. Come on up. Come on up. We are so thrilled to be able to hold this Scholars Biathlon for Social Studies today in Waco ISD. We have had so many young scholars throughout the district work really hard to prepare for this. We are so proud of Indian Springs for their work today on this. Let's give them a big round of applause. We'd like to thank their sponsor, Ms. Kimberly Keel. Give her a big round of applause. Come on, come on, come on. Again, let me thank all the administrators and teachers of Waco ISD who made this day possible. This is the first time we've ever accomplished something like this for social studies out of the curriculum office, and we are just thrilled. We've had these students here all day taking a test, answering questions in front of the cameras, and it has been well worth it. Give yourselves a big round of applause. We'd like to say that the first place team, they will win, each of them, a trip to Six Flags, free tickets, sponsored by 104.9. The second place team, we are glad to announce that they will be getting some time at Land Sharks here on Franklin Avenue in Waco. We want to thank Waco ISD TV for being here. Again, thanks everybody. Everybody have a good day. This is Robert Glenski, Social Studies Content Specialist for Waco ISD, saying thanks for watching.
Oh, yeah.